G'day everyone, it's Benny here. Welcome back to my city. For the last month I've been laying down a lot of train tracks and I think it's time I give you guys a look. So it's been a very repetitive month for me. I've laid down 433 straight sections of track, 93 curves and 15 switches, and they're all ballasted, and I've used over 15,000 various plates and tiles, browns and greys, to make up the ballast and the sleepers that go over the tracks. It's very much a work in progress. Towards the end of the video I'll show my prototype, so get a better idea of how it'll look in a couple of weeks. It's built up with some odd coloured bricks. They have no meaning, it's just there to fill the space. Okay, let's bounce around the room and show you all the different areas. So starting with the reverse shot of where we just were, this is the main train yard. I can fit a few extra locomotives and rolling stock in here. It's not as big as I'd like to. I mean, I'd like to have 6 or 7 spare sidings for all this sort of stuff. Right next to that you see 2 of the longest stretches. At the end there, that'll eventually go all under a mountain, so there'll be a triple tunnel entrance there. As we swing around out of the train yard, I'll fill this area with various maintenance and train yard stuff. Swinging around over here, this is where 4 of the lines come together and head into the main station. Before we get to that though, just over here, this line is sort of the imaginary line to the next city, I guess. Okay, now we're in the main station, and I've used a different kind of ballasting here. It's very much sort of based on a concrete look that I've seen in our Melbourne subways. We've got 5 full lines that go all the way through, as well as 1 sort of side line. I wanted to leave some space on the side there, just to build up the station a bit more. So I'll get in nice and close to have a look at that. This will have some extra detail on the side of the concrete sleepers as well. And then we can head up that way to look where the lines converge again. So leading out of the station, this is where 4 of the lines, well, you could say they either all come together or they all separate, depending which way the trains are heading. They head up that way. 2 of the lines continue the entire length of the table, while 1 of them cuts off right there and another one about halfway up. And this is just a reverse shot of the main station. So now we're at the opposite end of the table, where those 2 longest lines come through. Where the tan plates are, there'll be another mountain, maybe with some forest or buildings up top. Haven't decided yet, but it gives me opportunity to put 2 more tunnels in, some different designs. And they both swing down here, where I'm going to have a road-to-rail cargo port. So I'll put some buildings and cranes, warehouses, sort of things here. And as they swing by around this way, it branches off with another siding. And I'm thinking of putting some sort of fuel plant there, or chemical plant, not sure, something like that. Something interesting where I can sort of store some tankers permanently. And those main lines continue up the road there, past a crossing, and up to a bridge, which I'll zoom in on now. So the crossing isn't much to look at yet. I'm still prototyping this out a little bit. I've sort of got some slopes there joining the road to the track and a few things in the middle. This is the biggest crossing in the city. All the rest are single track. So we'll just see how it turns out. I'll update you guys once I have something more solid designed. So now we've come to the bridge, and this one took quite a while for me to knock up, just because of the different layers and making sure everything connected properly. But I've done a pretty simple design. If I come in close, sort of basic pillar through the middle, so you can see where it joins. So what took the most time was getting the cliff ready, just so I could place it all there and not have to build up underneath it. It's not quite finished yet. I've got to do a little bit of plant detail and a few things like that. Got a few little funny surprises I want to add under the bridge type stuff. But I think it looks alright. It's pretty stock standard Lego sort of rock face cliff building technique. Coming in above it. Haven't decided exactly how I'm going to sleeper the tracks going across, but what I really like is that you can see through the grates to the water below. I really wanted to have that effect, so I was glad I was able to maintain it. Let's head up the track a bit more. So as the lines continue up this way under the mountain area, fair few less plates and tiles to detail this area because it'll mostly be hidden under the mountain. So I thought I'd save some parts there. So as it hooks around, it actually splits into another line. And from the outside, looking at it from the opposite side of the mountain, it'll kind of look like there's just 3 lines coming out. So if you can think that sort of these lines might disappear into the next town, and then these 3 sort of come back from that town, and it's all happening under the mountain where you don't know, and it comes and goes, and you can sort of use your imagination there. Same with this road, it's kind of just stops, and it's not practical because it would run into a train line under a mountain, which doesn't make a lot of sense. But if you just use your imagination and pretend it's all happening off somewhere off table, then it kind of works. And I've just got some raptors just chilling out in the empty paddock there because I got bored of looking at just the green. Alright, let's bounce into the middle and have a look at the 2 inner lines. Okay, we're in the middle of the city now, and the 2 inner lines split here into a station with sort of 3 lanes. I've used that same light blue concrete look, and you can see here I've started adding the cheese slopes to sort of represent the outside of the concrete sleepers, and then they sort of converge back into the single line again. So the innermost loop just does a nice big oval sort of shape, and the slightly less inner loop hooks around this way more. So they sort of split over there, and that hooks around and joins back up to the other 2 lines, and then joins back with all of them coming around into the main station. And just off to the side here, we've got some extra siding off that middle line, and haven't quite decided what's going to happen here. I was thinking some sort of superhero themed train. I'm going to put Avengers Tower there and sort of my tower there, and maybe something else over here superhero related. So I don't know, an Avengers train, Batman train, not sure, but at least you can see here I've completely finished that look that I'm after. Works out okay. A little bit of looseness in the track, which I've got to work out. There's actually, I've discovered, a lot of tension when you join switches off of curves, off of other switches. There's not a lot of mounting places in between, so as a result you get a bit of flex in the tracks. It's not too bad, it doesn't jump off the table, it doesn't bother me too much. So here we got one of the single train crossings, again very basic at this stage. I've just put in some curves. The other one is over there. So one of the biggest projects to come from this is going to be the station building. That's going to be one big station. It's 4 48 by 48 base plates long and 2 wide. So there's a fair bit of platforming to be done, but I want to be able to park extremely big trains in there. So get started on that pretty soon. And this train station will be a little bit shorter. And around this side, next to that other crossing I showed, I'll probably put a suburban style train station here. Again, a little bit smaller than the others over the other side, and a little bit sort of less modern, I guess. Alright, let's follow the track all the way around, over the bridge, through the tunnel, splitting up into some extra lines, past the train yard. All the tracks join up to the main station. A couple of sidings there. They all split or converge depending on your direction there, and then they split again and again into the cargo port, and then into the fuel plant or whatever else, and we're back around to the start. So right here we've got a little bit of a sample of the remaining parts. Lots and lots of grey plates, 4x2s, 2x2s, 1x2s, 1x1s and then 1x1 round, plus a bunch of tiles to go under the ballasting for the curve sections. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut away and show you guys the prototype so you'll know what it'll all look like once it's done. Okay, what we have here is the prototype I made about 6 months ago to see what sort of look I'd like. I actually made a few of these and this is the one I went with. Both cost-wise, it was going to work out well for so much track. The top left corner is the sort of the base layer with some dark bluish grey plates on the outside to represent sort of the base rock, and then some colourful plates to fill up in the middle. And to the right of that, you've got the second layer where I've added the light bluish grey, and where you can sort of see where the inside detail of the ballast will go on those dark bluish grey plates. And then heading down to the bottom section, I've actually laid the track and done all the detail by adding 1x1 and 2x1 plates, as well as 1x1 round plates in the two grey colours. So it sort of blends the two different greys that make up the base ballast together. You couldn't tell underneath that it was two different colours. It looks random all throughout. And then in the middle between the sleepers, I've got about 15 different designs of these that we've been working on. So I get my friends around, we chuck on a good movie and just knock out about 100 of each of them. They will go in the middle, like so. And just connect in there, sort of fill out the detail all throughout. So underneath that you can see already worked our way through a few hundred. But there's about 1,000 more to go to be able to fill out this area. So that just about wraps up this video. If you want to see some more details and images of the construction process and all that interesting stuff, the table looking a complete mess, jump on the blog post that I've linked in the description and have a look through that. I'll be adding some detailed layers to the entire layout over the next couple of weeks. Hopefully I can get all that ballasting sort of finished as best I can. It's a long and repetitive process, so I may jump in some other projects in between as well. I'll keep you updated. I've got some good trains being built right now, so I'll get them whipping around the track as soon as possible. Thanks for watching, guys, and have fun building whatever projects you're on. Hopefully everyone's enjoying their Lego. See you guys.